Are you ready to take your organization to the next level and become a game changer in your industry? Then look no further. Welcome to Yokai Business Show, where we bring you the world's top business thought leaders to share their secrets to success, from leadership development to finance, marketing, self-development, human resource management, and much, much more. Our guests reveal the strategies, tactics, and mindsets that have made them so successful. So let's dive in and learn from the best in the business. Hello and welcome back to this very special recording. You may be watching us during the launch, or you are watching after the launch. We are glad you're joining us here because what we have in store for you could truly change your life. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever considered what lifestyle means? As a business leader or as a leader in whatever capacity, have you ever wondered what lifestyle is all about? A lot of people talk about lifestyle. A lot of people talk about a different lifestyle. What is lifestyle to you? What does that mean to you? Well, if you have wondered and ever wanted to have answers to this, we have a special guest today, Dr. Gonzalez, who truly is amazing at what he does, has got a track record of creating solutions that are transforming lives. Dr. Gonzalez, thanks again for joining us here on the show. How are you?
Very, very well, JK, and a lot of thanks for this welcoming and this warm introduction. And I'm very happy to be with you again to help your audience in this intricacies of life and health. You know?
Yes, amazing. One of the things I love about you is your breadth. You have lived quite a life. You were in the US at the peak of your career, and now you're based in Spain. You were at one point here in the United Kingdom, truly living and serving and doing all great things that a lot of leaders are thinking about doing. So, I love that about you. Would you very briefly talk us through your journey from the moment that you decided to do things slightly different after leaving as a doctor, helping a lot of people? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, well, it all began when I was young. I wanted to become a doctor because I had this meaning of this call to help other people. But when I licensed from the Faculty of Medicine in Barcelona, where I was born and from where I work from, I decided that I wanted to do things different to what I was seeing at hospitals, for example, because I thought that they were only focused in illness and not taking care of what is driving our health. How do we focus in the negative instead of following up the positive? That's why I was looking for other ways to do things. And then I realized that in the United States, there were a lot of programs around lifestyle and that the public health and preventive medicine there was very developed. And I decided to follow at the same time my residency program in Spain and a master in public health in the United States. And that's why I got to know the reality of the US. And of course, the United Kingdom is a country that is, I always say that it's my second-hand country, because the first time I visited it, I was only 11 years old. I was alone there because I was doing an interchange. And there, after that moment, I have gone, I would say, hundreds of times there. And I love the country. I love the culture.
Amazing. We are glad you are here today to talk about the 6 pillars of life. Now, a lot of people may not know what the 6 pillars of life are. Would you explain to everybody from your understanding what they are?
Yeah, me as a practitioner of lifestyle medicine, I am specialized in preventive medicine, but also practice the lifestyle medicine. we tell that there are 6 pillars. There are other authors that tell no, there are 8 pillars, and I will explain to you later why they put another 2. No? But the main 6 are, as we all can reason, is eating, nourishing oneself, is moving. The third one is sleeping. The fourth one is connecting with ourselves or reflect. The fifth is grow. What do we do to be better at whatever thing in life? And the sixth is to connect with others, our relationships. These are, for me, the main 6 pillars that explain how you are in your life, how you connect, and how you live at the end.
Yes.
Some other authors also tell that there are 2 more, which is the 7th pillar would be to refrain from eating substances like tobacco or alcohol or whatever. And the 8th would be to get rid of pollution or environmental contamination, which is, I would say, okay, that's implied in everything, because if you grow and connect with yourself, you're not going to take toxic substances or be happy in a pollution environment.
Yes, yeah, incredible. One thing I know about you is a while ago, you were not really living a balanced life. I remember you at that age when a nurse came to you and said, look, you look after everybody here, but you don't look after yourself. And that was a pivotal moment in your journey. Would you share with our audience here today about that story?
Yeah, this happened to me in a very specific moment in my life when I was in the peak of my career, guiding the preventive medicine services of a big health insurance company. And at that moment, I became father of twins.
Yes.
And this was like a shock in my life, because I wanted to be the best parent. I was a mature parent, and these babies were very desired. So I wanted to be the best parent, and at the same time, keep on my duties with my career. So what began to happen is that I began to sleep very bad, to eat on the go, and not rest at all, and of course have a lot of stress because I wanted to achieve everything without being physically able. There was no time in physically for what I was thinking. So I got very stressed, and I arrived to a point that I couldn't sleep at all. So I had to go to a colleague, to a psychologist, and say, okay, what's happening to me? And the psychiatrist told me, okay, you are under a lot of stress, and if you continue like that, you're going to get some disease. So better if you slow down and learn how to live other way.
Yes.
And I was wondering about that, and I was telling this to a nurse in my service, and she told me, yes, we all know that you don't care for yourself. Yeah. And then this is something that it was like a revelation. I say, okay, yes, this is true. I'm not taking care of myself. Yeah. And this is what drove me to first to heal myself through different options that I can explain later, and but second, to look for a system that could help others in the same situation, because I thought that I wasn't the only one in this world with this problem. No, there are a lot of people with this, especially leaders and business owners and people that are very driven and think that they have to do everything that is needed for the sake of success. Yeah. But at the end, when they are in the best of their careers, they cannot enjoy it at all because they don't feel well, and they feel even many times with anxiety and depression, which doesn't let you live and flourish.
Yeah, I can identify with that. In fact, I know a lot of people that are driven, and we are not knocking being driven, but when they do that at the expense of other areas of their lives, when they get to the end, That's when you have that saying, is this all there is? After you work very hard, you get there and you're disappointed because you're not enjoying the process, you're not enjoying the journey. And when you get there, it's like, okay, I stepped on a lot of people's heads, made a lot of people unhappy, made my family unhappy and all that. And at the end, you think, is this worth it? Is it what there is? But I'm glad that you stopped and then created a system that you are now sharing with the world on how to live a lifestyle that truly serves you, serves family, serves the community, and serves our world, really, frankly speaking. So I'm glad you did that. So let's dive deep. How do these pillars of life differ from one person to the other, or are they the same?
Well, they differ, of course, because everyone has its own characteristics, but the way that they function in every human being is the same. And the problem is that we have been fixing and focusing a lot during the last decades in the moving, in the physical activity, in how we nourish ourselves. Now, let's say from 15 years ago, it's sleeping is one of the key elements that everybody is talking about, but nearly no one talks about how you connect with yourself and how you take care of yourself, and how at the same time how you take care of yourself and how you take care of the others, of your important relationships. And then you don't grow. This is what happens when you don't care of these kind of things. You don't make this kind of grow, which is the grow, let's say, of the human. No, not I'm not meaning that you grow because you are making more sales or more a better business. No?
Yeah.
This is because mainly I discovered that there are two main reasons. No, since we are younger, we are pressured to succeed in this life. No,
yeah.
Or you succeed or you die. No, this is something that we all learned, and we do a lot of things in the sake of this success, and also we neglect to take care of ourselves. No, because we say no, we can wait for that. No, maybe when I have more time, I will take care of myself, or when I have more money, I will be able to spend some days in the nature. And this moment never arrives because there is always something more to do.
Yeah.
And then I discovered that, and this was my reason, because when I was in that problem with my career, my babies, that I love them, I realized that I wasn't being the kind of father I wanted to be, because what I was passing them, or what I was showing them, even though they were babies, was anxiety and depression and stress. And this is something I didn't want to explain to them or to show them, that life is not anxiety and depression. And I realized that I had to connect with me and to be able to self-care, not to have self-compassion for me. And this is the thing that moves everything. In my system, I use innovative tools like epigenomics to tell you exactly which metabolic pathways or organ systems you may have altered. I use also artificial intelligence to mix all the information you give to me around your lifestyle with your epigenetics and your lab biomarkers. And then we get from that a very good, exact, precise plan, lifestyle plan. And but the main work I do with all my patients and my clients is to learn to have this self-compassion.
Yes.
And this is something that you can only learn. It's difficult because you cannot arrive with the mind. It's something that you have to feel inside yourself. And the only way to feel this is using very old techniques that we all know, but maybe haven't had the attention from science for many years, which is breathing, for example. Breath work, we don't breathe well at all. There are statistics that say that, for example, 70% of the population our mouth breathing, and this is not a good way of breath. The other way, for example, to arrive to feel this is through meditation, which takes a little bit longer. And other ways are through conscious movement. No, you know the ancient Chinese Tai Chi or
Yes.
Qigong. These are really things that if you use them properly under the supervision of a professional that knows what you have to do and how to do it, you then arrive to a moment where you are able to feel this self-compassion for yourself, and you're able to forgive you for your mistakes, to forgive you for many things, and then your arousal goes down. And it's like magical, because at this moment when your arousal has gone down, you're able to eat better. Then is when you can do it. You're able to eat better because you're motivated inside. You know that you have to go and be more active also, because someone that is sitting 12 hours a day in a chair is not going to survive a lot of years. And also you are going to be able to say no. Now at this time I close my desk, close my computer, and I go to spend some time with my loved people, and then to sleep, because I need to sleep 8 hours.
Yeah. Wow,
It's
that's very
only at this
insightful.
moment. Yeah.
I like what you said there, but I want to jump on to talk about what happens when one of the pillars of life is neglected or become unbalanced.
Yeah. When they become unbalanced, something always happens inside the body. Some people think, no, maybe for example, I'm getting stressed, or I'm not doing a lot of physical activity, but it doesn't harm me. No, when I was, for example, many in the middle age think, okay, when I became, how do you say, when you went out of work, at the old age.
Yes.
When this happens, then is when I will go out and go physical activity and so on. But at this time it's late. If you haven't done nothing, you're 30s, 40s, 50s, it's very late for you. It's not always, you can always begin at any age, but something inside is going to happen before. Because if you are stressed and you don't have physical activity, for example, you're going to have a lot of submetabolites and physical biochemical reactions going on inside your body that are going to create inflammation, that are going to damage your brain, for example, because there is something called the neuroinflammation, which is it is being seen now by some studies that is the cause of depression.
Right.
There's a study recently done that they have seen that people with depression has this neuroinflammation, and it's the same with all the pillars. If you don't sleep, you can eat very well and move yourself, but if you don't sleep, it will arrive a moment that you will not be able to move because you will be very tired and incapable of doing anything. Yeah. But I always say that these three other pillars, which are reflect, connection with yourself, connection with the others, and grow, and I say spiritual grow, and you can take it as you want. For some is religious growth, so for others just spiritual. But if you don't pay attention to these three pillars, these last three pillars, it doesn't matter how much active or how well you eat or how well you sleep. And this is something that we have always forgotten. And that's why many lifestyle programs are not functioning at all. I know from the statistics that, for example, in the United States, the companies are now observing or giving a close attention to the lifestyle programs they have with their employees, because they have discovered that at the end, it doesn't matter they have a lifestyle program or not, and they are expensive. But this is because they are not attending this other important part of the life, of the pillars of life, which is the connection with oneself, the growth of the spirit, and the connection with others.
I believe in the growth of your spirit is one of those things I I have a firm belief that we come from somewhere, and we are spirits. If you don't focus on that internal part of the real you, everything else is going to crumble. So I 100% believe that. Let's talk about for somebody to have full fulfillment. How do they balance this? It's great that we know about these 6 pillars, maybe 8 pillars, but how do you actually balance this? How do you know you're balancing them accordingly?
Well, if you're balancing this, you're probably able to have to sleep well during 8 hours as a minimum, and then half a day with energy in the morning. You feel refreshed. You feel yourself motivated to do whatever you have to do. And after that, you will eat, for example, a lunch with consciousness, knowing what you're eating, not just looking, for example, to a computer while you eat or something like that. You will take your time to eat, it doesn't have to be hours, it's just half an hour for eating. And you will be able to go back to home and have still enough energy to play with your kids, or just talk to them if they're older or whatever, or play with your spouse or whoever you live with, no, or go out with your dog. This is the balance state. But what really happens for the majority of us when we are making entrepreneurship or leading some companies is that we don't have to eat well, and we are not balanced, no, and we don't sleep enough hours because there's always something that is running in our heads. We are not disconnecting, no. Nowadays with the iPhones and the computers, it seems that you have to be permanently in contact, in connection, and this is something very bad for our health. It's not. I always say that the screens in themselves are not bad. What is bad is the sense that if you hear a ping of an email or a message in Slack, no, you have to answer immediately. And if it's 11 p.m., you don't have to.
When you mentioned about when you are asleep and your brain keeps working, I felt guilty there because not quite often I find myself doing that. So I'm going to be learning how to balance my own life here because it's very important for me to live a well-balanced. And I know that when you live a well-balanced life, you are of more value to those around you, to those you get to lead, and to the community at large. So it's important for me to work on that as well. Let's talk about the steps that anybody can take. Those that are like me, they're beginning to see that, oh my goodness, that area needs to be sorted out, or I need to rejig everything so I bring back the balance. Mm-hmm. What practical steps can those people like me take today?
Well, for me, my recommendation would be, first of all, look at your body. How is it? No? How is your physiology now? Are you imbalanced? Do you have problems? Because many ways the symptoms of this is on overweight or kilos that you cannot get rid of. Headaches, for example, this is very typical, or this insomnia that you were explaining to me. So first of all is look at your body, and look it with precision. For example, like I do with looking at the epigenetics, how your genes are now expressing and how this is affecting your biomarkers. And many times, because of the bad nutrition, your vitamins and minerals, many times it's are low, especially in these times of post-COVID, that we are seeing a lot of vitamin D deficiency, not only because of lack of sun, but because of the virus that accumulates in the intestine. Yeah. And the second thing that you should do is to change the game, to think carefully about what you want in life, what is your true self, and think if to succeed, you really need to go to all these events that normally you are invited to, or to drink these drinks with these people that you think that if you don't do it, they're not going to to hire you or to buy you something that you're selling them, and to really do this change of thinking. No, it's hard, but once you do it, you discover a life, because you say, okay, I can be myself, I can be the successful human being I am without needing of doing these things that at the end go against me. And the third thing is just 3 steps at the end. I have a program that it's 7 steps or so, but at the end is 3 things that you have to do. And the third thing is learn very easy techniques for connecting with yourself, to be able to self-care and integrate them in your daily life. It's just a question of creating habits, And for this, I use a method that is worldwide renowned, which is the Tiny Habits method by Dr. B.J. Fogg in the Stanford University, and because it's the best way to integrate little by little, one step at a time, the habit that you want.
Yeah. Well, that is quite revolutionary. I love what you talked about, changing your mind, reevaluating maybe your beliefs on what it takes. What is it that you want? When we are talking to leaders, what it takes for you to be successful. But absolutely love that. I spoke to be very highly, taking time for myself and reevaluate what I'm doing. Do I have to do all these things? Or I just need to focus on this one thing and go at my own pace. In fact, I remember I was talking to another special guest of ours not too long ago, and they were talking about, take time, ask yourself questions that why are you doing what you're doing? Is it because of so and so, or you want to be ahead of everybody? What's driving you? Really take time to dig deep. And when you do that, you're going to find out that maybe you are living life for somebody else and forget to live life for yourself. And I think that's what you're trying to point out here.
Yeah, it's this is true. This is the reality. And today, the fear of missing something, the FOMO, the classical FOMO,
Yes.
It's terrible, because people think that they have to attend everything that are gaining their attention, a call, an email, or an event, and these kind of things, and they forget about their true focus or the true mission. For example, if you're a business owner, you cannot be all the day around seeing people and talking and everything. You have to focus in your company and what is driving your company and how you're doing it. And many times I've always seen, especially when I was working, I had a period working for the pharma industry when I was a communication director from some companies in Spain. One of them was Pfizer, by the way, when Viagra came out to the market. And I was in charge of this. And I was invited to hundreds of events every day. And I found that the people that were attending all these events always were the worst in their profession. They were just like going around and making noise, resembling that they were very important or something similar, but at the end they were not doing anything at all.
Right.
And I was classified as a difficult person by the media, for example, because I wasn't attending them all the day. I had to focus on how to bring Viagra to our consumers, because we had a big problem. The company felt that this drug was going to be successful everywhere in the world, and they didn't realize about the culture of different regions in the world, especially Europe, and especially the south of Europe, where sex was still a taboo in the doctor office.
Yeah.
So they found that we had to do a lot of work in communicating with our doctors and also with our final consumers, to tell them that talking about sex was something good, and that was something to drive into the doctor's office. But this is what many times happens. No, if you don't focus on what is happening, and you go to the everything that is attending or claiming your attention, you forget yourself. You forget what you're doing.
Amazing. Absolutely love that. And you also touched on the importance of creating habits to connecting with yourself. Oh my goodness, that has to be one of the important aspects of really living life on purpose. I remember somebody once said to me that if you are worried or you're anxious, you're living in the future. And if you're depressed, you're living back, of what happened in the past, and you're missing out on living now, where you're connected, where you're present. And that helped me greatly. Whenever I find myself being anxious, I have to pick myself, and say, "Hey, come back, come back." We have everything that we need right now, right here. We've got amazing people, amazing family. Things are working for me, which absolutely is great. Let's talk about the challenges. A lot of people know these concepts. Those in our audience, and they know that they have to eat well, they have to move, they have to connect with themselves, they have to grow spiritually, be part of something bigger and greater than themselves, or relate to others well. They have had most of these things, but they find some challenges in trying to live a balanced life. In your experience of supporting people like me and many people watching and listening, how do you help them deal with the challenges that arise from this?
Yeah, the only way to be able to introduce this concept in your life when you are a businessman full of things to do and you wear a tight schedule is to really be able to self-care. If you understand that self-care is the most important thing you can do, not only for you, but for your company, because a leader that is ill mentally, for example, mentally ill because has anxiety or stress or burnout, is not a good leader. So the company is not going to be well. No? So the first thing you have to understand is you have to put limits and be able to self-care yourself. If you're able to do that, then all the other things that I told you before, the eating, the moving, all these kind of things that we have to do, it's easy to do. But if you don't realize this, if you're not able to realize that the most important thing is self-compassion, is to be able to self-love. No, I always say this is the self-love mantra, no, that we have to have and be able to take care of what we need. And this is not something egoist. This is something that what drives is to let you project with much more emphasis what you have to project in your mission in life.
Absolutely amazing. We're coming toward the end of our time here together, but I know that there are people that would want to know if there are any resources that you can recommend them for them to further explore and really begin to apply the principles that you're talking about here today.
Yeah, I could recommend them to read some books about self-compassion, for example. Christine Neff is one of the main authors in this area, and I have learned a lot from her. And I would recommend this especially. The other part is to learn or to read about lifestyle. But many times I have found in many of my clients that they are very dedicated people. We were talking before. There are only a few percentage of population that really take care of them and want to get better lifestyle. No? And I found that most of them are really very disciplined in following a diet or following an exercise thread or whatever, but they don't do this work of finding themselves, finding their true self, and being able to recognize that they don't need all these things that are gaining or claiming their attention around, and do the change. This is the real thing that they have to do. And I would recommend, especially to read around self-compassion.
Well, Dr. Gonzalez, you have been wonderful, and thank you for making those recommendations. And for those who are listening and you want to explore further, Dr. Gonzalez is participating, in fact, has already participated in one of our great book that you can find in all the outlets that you wanted to have to explore further. And if you want to find out more, there will, especially if you're listening on podcast, there will be a link to Dr. Gonzalez's website. In fact, tell us your website for others to connect with you there, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yeah, my website is, well, with the 3 W's, my name, which is Pedro Luis Gonzalez. It's in Spanish. I think I don't have to spell it, but because they will find it in the podcast, .coach. And there they will find what is this all about. And if they want to have a quick call, which is not very quick, a quick call of around 30, 45 minutes with me, they can talk to me, they can explain what they are feeling, what is happening to them, and then I will see if I can help them, because not everybody is in the position to be able to self-care. So I want to be very sincere always with people, and those that come to me wanting their magic pill or the magic solution that with a tweak puts everything on right. If I had this, I would be much more famous and probably selling it for millions, not trying to help in this way people.
Yeah, amazing. Well, so you will have the link below this if you are listening on podcast, but if you're watching us during the book promotion, you will be able to get assistance straight from the team. And we love to hear your feedback of how you're finding the conversation we are having. One way or the other, reach out to us and let us know how you are getting on. Remember, we always want to help you get closer to your goal. And many people here in our audience, I hope including you, wants to live a lifestyle, a life that you truly will be proud. When you get to the end of your life and you are lying there about to leave this beautiful earth to another dimension, you're going to look back and say to your loved ones and to yourself, I've lived a good life. It was balanced. I slept well. I was moving. I ate well. I was connected to myself. I grew spiritually. I was connected with others, so many great friends. And if you want to be like that, you want to have a great life like that, the concepts we've been talking about are the key to helping you get there. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. You just figure out what works, what other exceptional people like Dr. Gonzalez here have to say, and go apply that. It's amazing what will happen. For it is these little keys that you learn today that opens and swings massive doors of opportunity. In fact, I know life can become better. I truly believe life is better when you live a balanced life indeed. Now, Dr. Gonzalez, thank you so much for participating in this project and also for being on the show.
You're welcome. For me, it has been a pleasure, and I'm proud to be able to help you and your audience in the request for a better life.
Incredible. You will be very proud of me, Dr. Gonzalez. Since our last conversation, I booked some time out to be in Tenerife. Take time out completely and focus on those key things and reevaluate what is happening in my life. Am I following my path, or am I doing everything else and except doing what I truly want to do? So it's all down to your concept and what you're sharing with me. And I hope our listeners and those that are watching are going to pick one or two things that they will do. So thank you again.
Okay, you're welcome. You will do if you go to Tenerife. Yes. And you spend a good time resting there and try the nice food and nice atmosphere they have there. Even if it's in the Canary Islands, they are Spanish. Yes. So they belong to the Mediterranean culture, and you will feel it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much on a very personal level. You are truly helping me as well. So thank you again if you are watching. Until next time, as we always say, live well, live with passion. Know that the best is yet to come. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to Yokai Business Show. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode and have gained valuable insights and inspiration from our amazing guest. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review to help us spread the word. Also, be sure to check out our Leadership Ultimate Success Mastermind program, which is designed to help you and leaders in our community to do great things and support each other along their leadership journey. Until next time, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly yet to come.